Am I the a-hole for putting a restraining order on a friend? I, 23 female, and George, 22 male, had been friends for a long time as our families have been friends for 3 generations. After having a one-night stand, I gave birth to a baby girl, Visha, and she's now 2 months old. After I got out of the hospital, I took her to meet everyone and they loved her. George's mother is in a phase where she really wants a granddaughter, and well, she has all grandsons, so she became really attached to her. Well, George has also become attached and rather possessive of my daughter. The problem began when he started calling her his daughter, and would constantly say, "Daddy's here," every time she cried, and I told him to stop. And yes, her dad is in her life. We FaceTime and visit him as he lives in a different state. Well, one day while we were on FaceTime, my daughter's dad, Carl, 24 male, asked for a DNA test. It shocked me to say the least, so I asked him why. Turns out ever since my daughter was born, George has been sending texts to Carl saying how Visha wasn't his, that George was the father, and to stay away from his daughter. I saw red. I went to George's house and cussed him out and stopped talking to him. Mind you, my daughter is a month old at this time. Well, George took it upon himself to go to my house while I was at work and tell my mom that I said he could take her. My mom had no idea that I cussed him out and stopped talking to him. So when I came home, I found my mom asleep and my child nowhere to be found. I ran screaming and yelling at my mom as to where my baby was, and she told me George came and got her. I immediately got into my car and went to George's house. He wasn't there. I went to his mom's house and there he was sitting on a couch holding my baby. I grabbed my daughter and told him to stay the hell away from her and to never think about coming near us again. His mom, who was at home at the time, came walking in the door and asked what was going on, and I told her that George took my daughter without my consent, and then went to the police station and filed a police report and a restraining order. His girlfriend, and also the mother of his son, has been harassing me and calling me all types of names, and saying I'm an a-hole for putting her son's dad in jail. So am I the a-hole for protecting my child? And also, I have never and will never hook up with George. That is disgusting to even think about. And I don't have a problem with his mom. I love her and always thought of her as a second mom, seeing as we were around them all the time and we were next door neighbors until they moved. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. He kidnapped your daughter. It's as simple as that. Friends don't kidnap your kids. Right? I can't imagine going to my besties and leaving with her child, even if we have known each other since first grade. If I did that to my best friend, I know 100% it would end our 14-year friendship, because she would unalive me, and I'm auntie to her kids. We've done some pretty messed up things to each other, but our kids are a line we don't cross. Not the a-hole at all. George is weird and obsessed, and it's creepy. Please let everyone know what he's been doing before his family can spin it to look like you're the crazy one. Get a lawyer and send him a cease and desist letter as well. Also get video recording cameras for your home. His family isn't like him. They immediately cut him off after they found out what he did. Thank God. You are in the right in all this. It kind of sounds like George and his girlfriend wanted a set of a boy and a girl, and were trying to take your kid from you for that reason and cut you out. You did the right thing. What if he had thought about you getting angry and hurt your kid? Or realizes you were looking for him before you found it and hurt your kid trying to get out of trouble? He doesn't spend time with his son, and we would yell at him because every time his son would cry, he would yell, "I wish you were never born." It scared me half to death. I honestly wanted to end him. It's extremely alarming that he is so fixated on your daughter while ignoring his son. I would fear the absolute worst if I were his girlfriend. She doesn't care. She does anything and everything to please him, and he knows it. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to spend Christmas with my family after my mom introduced herself to my 3-year-old by her first name? My mom and my wife avoid each other if they can. There was never a big incident. My mom isn't a just no mother-in-law, and my wife isn't some horrible daughter-in-law. But if they can get away with not speaking, they don't speak. For a little while, my mom tried to keep her close relationship with me by trying to see me when my wife wasn't there. But I felt weird about that. My life got busy, and more I told my mom that the only times I was available were when my wife would be there, so my mom lost interest in seeing me. In the 4 years I've been married, I've seen my mom a handful of times. It was hard on me for a while, but I feel like, what am I going to do when the two of them just don't want to interact? My mom did send a gift when my 3-year-old was born, and she has met her a couple of times. My mom is always polite when we see her, but obviously there can't be a traditional grandma role when she doesn't want to come around. My wife's family live across the country, so I spend most holidays with my family. My mom isn't the one hosting, and I am not forcing my wife into an uncomfortable situation. My wife genuinely likes a lot of my cousins, and we mostly hang out with them, and my mom hangs out with her husband, sister, and brother-in-law. My daughter has met my mom, but not enough to remember her, and is going through her curious stage. When we all gathered for Thanksgiving, she asked my mom who she was, and my mom gave her first name. She was really nice about it, but it still left a bad taste in my mouth, like she's still her grandmother. And while we aren't close at all, there was never a formal estrangement. I didn't say anything in the moment. My wife suggested it might be a vanity thing, but I don't know. She was never particularly vain. Recently, Christmas plans came up, and I stated that I don't want to go if my mom is there, due to her rejecting my daughter. Now, my whole extended family thinks I'm being dramatic. My wife is actually annoyed, and says I'm being an A for wanting to deprive our daughter of a family holiday, just because my mom is a witch. I just don't feel comfortable, and it really left a bad taste in my mouth. Obviously, there can't be a traditional grandma role when she doesn't want to come around. It's surprising that you accept this as fact, but are then so angered by your mother not introducing herself with a traditional grandma name. I mean, which is it? Either she's grandma and you make an effort to foster a good relationship between her and your daughter, or she isn't, and you accept that she will introduce herself as just another member of the extended family. You're the a-hole. Seriously, what was she supposed to say? And how was she supposed to know that was what she was supposed to say? You're the a-hole. I felt weird about that. You felt weird about seeing the woman who gave birth to you alone, yet you want her to stake claim to your child? I'm sure she's as confused as I am. You're the a-hole. It sounds like you and your wife are icing your mother out, and she is being very respectful of that. If you don't want her in a traditional grandma role, then why give it a title? Do you want your daughter to constantly ask, why can't I see grandma? Jenny's grandma picks her up every day. Have a grown-up conversation with your mom, following a conversation with your wife, about what type of role you want her to have in your daughter's life. She can decide if she's comfortable with that, but it seems like she's trying to respect that you don't want it to be traditional, and you're cutting her off even further and calling her a witch for it. You're seriously not thinking of your daughter at all, and seem to just want to stick it to your mom. Even your wife thinks you're in the wrong here. I would love her in a traditional grandmother role. Anytime I've invited her to spend time with us, not just me, she says she's busy. I've tried to include her in things, but she always has an excuse. You're the a-hole. Your mom did nothing wrong. You pushed her out of your life when she tried to have compromised and see you alone. If that was the only way I could see my mom, I would do it. She was disrespecting the woman I love by refusing to be around her. If she could have been normal and done some stuff as a family with us as a couple, then I would have hung out with her one-on-one. She refused to do that. Every time I try to include her, she has an excuse. Just because you love your wife doesn't mean your mom has to like her. Some people just don't get along. Not being around someone isn't disrespecting them. Next story. Am I the a-hole for making my sister leave my house at a family dinner? Plus little update. I'm 21 female, live with my now fiancé 25 male, and we like to have our families come over for dinners or to hang out. My fiancé proposed over the weekend, and we did not tell anyone except my sister 27 and his best friend. We wanted to surprise everyone with the announcement and invited them over for dinner, and my sister knew we would be announcing our engagement. At the end of the meal, before we brought out dessert, we told everyone that we had some exciting news. That is when my sister cut me off mid-sentence and said, I am pregnant again. Everyone in the family was so excited and happy for her and her husband. I think I stood for a solid minute with my jaw dropped. My grandma then made a comment to me about how sweet it was to have made this dinner for her announcement. I was furious. I walked up to her and her husband and said, please leave. And she looked like I had just stabbed her with my words. She started crying and saying how I wasn't excited for her and I was just jealous of her life. And she didn't think I even liked my nephew, too, whom I love and spoil. I told her again that she had to leave, that she and her husband could not stay anymore. My mom was furious with me and told me I had to apologize after my sister left my house. Her and my dad went on about how insensitive I was being, and that I was disrespectful to send my pregnant sister out of my house. I apologized to her and my family, but I still don't think I was in the wrong. I still have not told my family about my engagement. So am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before the little update. Not the a-hole. Your sister sucks for sure, but I think you probably should have told your family. After your grandma made that comment, you should have said that your sister hijacked the event and you told her it was to announce your engagement. By not telling everyone, it makes it look like your sister announced her pregnancy and you got so mad you kicked her out. So people are gonna think you were an a-hole instead of realizing your sister is to blame. Petty option. Tell everyone you threw the party to make your own announcement. Your sister knew that and stole it. If they want to find out what your announcement is, they can pressure the sister into throwing you a makeup dinner. Or have a party for some other people. Tell them and put it on social media. Send it to a family chat and write, "This is what I was going to tell everybody. Sis knew but didn't care that she stole that from you." With fiancé's family to make a point about her family's refusal to listen to her, we almost exclusively see my husband's family, because even if they pull some annoying crap, we know they'll have our backs if we need it. And if we lay down a boundary, they listen. I love my parents, but they are a-holes. Not an a-hole. You should tell everyone the dinner was for your engagement, and your sister knew beforehand. If anyone still sides with her, I'd go low contact with them, and I wouldn't include your sister in your bridal party and or planning. I wouldn't even invite the sister to the wedding at all. Depending on how far it is, she will likely be announcing baby number 3 during the reception toasts. Why did you apologize? It was a truly awful thing to do. My advice? Don't bother telling your family. And if they find out from someone else and want to know why you didn't tell them, then explain. This is a level of pettiness that I am completely here for. Reminds me of this kid whose parents weren't going to their graduation because they weren't the valedictorian. In a way, they were actually that person. And instead of telling their parents, they just sent them a video of the graduation speech. Pettiness level 100. Edit/update. I FaceTimed with my mom and dad this morning and spoke with them calmly about everything that happened. My dad agreed with me that it was disrespectful of her to take my moment in my dinner. My mom, on the other hand, said I was still insensitive, and it was unfair for me to ruin my sister's moment, and that I could have announced it at a different day and let her have the moment. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter she can come to me if she wants hair removal? My 42 female daughter, 14 female, is pretty hairy compared to most girls her age, just like I was at her age. Brown jeans, LMFAO. Recently she mentioned how she had to wear shorts for basketball in school, and she had more leg hair than anyone else there, which made her embarrassed. I went through the same feeling as a kid, so I completely got what she meant. And I knew that she was going to try remove her body hair at some point, and I didn't want her to feel like she had to do it in secret like I did. So I told her that if she wants to remove it, she can tell me and we can work something out. But if she doesn't, there's absolutely no pressure to do so. Anyways, my husband, 45 male, found out about this and was enraged, telling me it just made her more insecure about her hair, and I'm gonna turn her into a look-obsessed idiot, his exact words. My reasoning was that she was already insecure about her body hair, and telling her she couldn't remove it would just make her miserable, and she'd end up doing it in secret, and probably in an unsafe manner. I'd rather her be comfortable and open with me about it so she doesn't hurt herself or feel anxious that I find out. I went through this whole thing before, and there was a time I plucked out my arm hair individually in secret before a party because I didn't want to look stupid. I don't want her to go through the same thing. My husband claims I'm setting a horrible example to her, and making her seem like that stuff matters more than it does. I'm scared that's what I'm doing, but at the same time I feel like giving her a choice was the best option. I don't know. Is there something I'm missing or doing wrong? Not the a-hole, and men don't get it. Plus what he said was cruel. He isn't the one being pointed at and whispered about and made fun of. As a kid who went home crying every day for a year at 11 to 12, I get it. And 100% removing the hair will make her feel better. My family's upper lip hair people, and the teasing stopped as soon as they let me wax it off. He doesn't get how cruel children are, girls especially. Yeah, my husband's white and barely has any leg/arm hair. I was jealous as hell when I met him, so I really don't think he gets how exhausting it feels. But I 100,000,000% agree with you on children are cruel part. They see a girl with body hair and act like she's some alien being. You should stop shaving and doing hair removal for yourself, and let him see for himself what you go through. If it's no big deal, then he won't mind. Not today, home. You are being a wonderful, supportive parent. It is certainly age appropriate for her to remove hair. It is her preference to remove or not, which you honored in what you said to her. She obviously wishes to remove it, or she wouldn't have brought it up. Husband goes on the bench on this one. I wonder if you have a son. And what will happen when he reaches shaving age? I bet it would be a wonderful male rite of passage, not a boy being a looks-obsessed idiot. Thank you so much. I was really worried that I was just passing my childhood insecurities on to her, but I didn't want her to feel trapped, you know? And with the son thing? Exactly. No one's gonna force their son to keep a beard so they don't turn vain. Same should go with the daughters. Not the a-hole. Your husband is going way too far into the body positivity idea, and forgetting that A, not everything is about what other people think, she can do it just because, and B, your daughter lives in the real world where teenagers can be mean. Your husband is taking away her autonomy. You aren't telling her she has to remove it, just offering her a safe way to do so, and telling her that it's her choice. I don't think it's the body positivity thing for him, but more like why do you care sort of thing. The same goes for makeup. I painted her nails a couple times, and he acted like I was setting her up for a child beauty pageant. It sounds like your husband has a problem with your daughter growing up. Because a lot of men, maybe not just men, see makeup, nail polish, etc. like a way to make yourself look more sexually appealing. He has to understand that she's not doing it for others but for herself, something that you seem to understand more. Am I the a-hole for leaving a vacation I planned for my girlfriend after her friends came along? My girlfriend Sarah, 29, and I, male 28, have been dating for 5 years, and I wanted to go on a vacation with her to celebrate. I planned a trip for several months, and of course I shared my plans with her. I decided on skiing/snowboarding/other winter activities in Colorado. The activities seemed perfect, and I was looking forward to this for months because I wanted to propose to her at the end of the trip. 5 days before the trip, Sarah dropped the ball on me that she invited 2 of her friends to meet her there. I was upset because I wanted to spend one-on-one time with Sarah for our anniversary. I feel like it was plain and clear that this was a trip for just us. Even though I expressed my concerns, Sarah insisted that her friends already made plans to come and won't back out. I decided to accept this because there was no way for me to force her friends to not come, but I wish I fought more on this. I figured we could make some changes to our plans, and I would still be able to propose to her privately. Sarah essentially blew me off for her friends, and we didn't get any private time. After 3 days of being in second place, I decided to leave the trip and head home. I told Sarah why I was leaving, and she was upset. She told her friends about my decision, and I was ganged up on. They said we were all having a great time. She thinks I'm being a jerk for making her pick between her friends and me, even though her friends weren't invited in the first place. I never had personal issues with her friends prior to this trip. I never made Sarah pick between me or her friends, because everyone needs a friend outside of a relationship. I'm at home now and thinking about everything. I have a day to myself before Sarah comes home, so at least I get to relax a bit. Sarah and her friends think I'm overreacting and think I ruined the trip. I think Sarah was disrespectful and rude to me by ruining the purpose of this trip and having her friends gang up on me. Am I the a-hole for leaving a vacation I planned for my girlfriend after her friends came along? Edit. This was a planned anniversary/romantic trip. I was clear that we have plans for just us two. We've been on other anniversary trips together without our friends there. We did discuss marriage beforehand, so it's not like a proposal would have been out of the blue. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You sure you still want to propose? This. Even if it wasn't a proposal trip, it was so disrespectful of Sarah to basically pull the rug out from under him and get her friends to gang up. To do that to someone you've dated for 5 years? Jeez. I would sit her down and go through the plans you had, including the proposal. Watch the Pikachu face, and then tell her you need time apart to reevaluate the relationship. So let me get this straight. 1. You spent months planning a vacation for the 2 of you. 2. You paid for said vacation. 3. She invited her friends and didn't tell you until it was too late for them to cancel. 4. You made requests for alone time, and she rebuffed those efforts to hang out as a group with her friends. Buddy, she found a ring and knew your plan for the weekend. Not the a-hole. Might want to consider planning for a different future. Info, is it possible she knew you were going to propose and did this intentionally to avoid it? That is what worries me. We discussed marriage beforehand and everything seemed great. This was a planned anniversary/romantic trip, so the nature of it was plain and clear. I hope you're reading all the other posts here. Not the a-hole and her inviting others along without telling you until it was too late for them to cancel. Blowing you off on the trip and then ganging up on you is absolutely not the behavior of a life partner. And I 100% guarantee you will live to regret marrying this person, even if you later proposed and she said yes. Sorry this is happening to you, but much better you found out now than after the fact. I've been trying to respond to the comments as best I can. I didn't realize this would blow up this much. Everyone here has given me a lot to think about and her logic of bringing her friends. I'll update in a day or two if I'm up for it. Minor update. My friends are here at the house and they have been running potential interference, just in case her friends try to bombard and harass me. They've been great and I'm so glad to have them. Next story. Am I the a-hole for leaving without my friend when I agreed to pick her up? I cannot stand people being late to things. Well, if you were late and you were getting there yourself, I don't care. But if I'm there to pick someone up or we are leaving together, I need them to be on time. I refuse to be late because of another person. It's a big issue for me because growing up, my parents would be late to everything. We'd always arrive at a movie 10 minutes plus into the movie, like after the commercials. If we were supposed to be somewhere, I just knew we'd be late. Even to important things that would reflect poorly on me, that make me late to all of them. So if I say we are leaving at this time or I will pick you up at this time, I mean that time. My friends know this. They make jokes about times when I pulled up and waited until the exact time and just drove off to the destination. Recently, we had a 4-day getaway with a few friends planned. One of my chronically late friends that knows how I am with these things asked me to pick her up. I told her that we were leaving at this exact time, and that if she isn't there, I'll just go. I've never picked her up before, but she usually arrives late to hang out, which I don't mind. As long as you're not making me late, I don't care. You can miss half the movie for all I care. The day came and I drove to her apartment. I was a few minutes early and texted that I was there. I didn't get a response until the agreed time she said she'd be at the car. She said just a few minutes. I texted that I am going to the airport and that she should arrange an Uber. I just drove off, and like 40 minutes later while I was at the airport, she called me asking where I was, which told me that I would have been waiting there for 40 minutes, so I think I made a good choice. I told her that I said I was going to the airport. She said she thought I was joking and got angry, and even said such a typical man. She ended up missing the flight and having to take a later flight and miss the first day of the vacation. My friends are on my side and think it's silly that she's still so upset about it. They're like, you know how he rolls. This was your fault. And why would you expect someone to wait 40 minutes? Her best friend that is also friends with us, however, is taking her side and said I was mean. I guess I do feel bad because we all put money toward this vacation and she missed the whole day of it. Am I the a-hole? Info. Would she have made it to the flight had you waited for her? Or would you both have missed the flight? Like, did she miss the flight because she was 40 minutes late? Or because getting the Uber and everything took extra time on top of that? If I waited 40 minutes, we would have missed the flight. She called me like I just got outside where are you 40 minutes later. $10 says she used your arrival notice as a wake-up call, then showered and got ready. And packed. I had a friend that would do this crap. He would always demand everyone be at his house at a particular time. And we'd get there and he'd still be sleeping without his bags packed. We'd never get on the road for 40 to 60 minutes. And I just don't get it. If my flight is before 5 p.m. the next day, my bag is packed the day before and ready to go. So that if there's any hiccups, I at least have that ready to go. If it actually took her 40 minutes, then not the a-hole. However, I do think you should have given her a little more of a chance when you were waiting. Something like, if you're not out in 5, I'm gone for real. It's okay to give a little leeway to friends. Except she messaged 40 minutes later, where are you? Yeah, I understand a point about giving friends a little leeway, especially for something like an airport drive. And if the friend had immediately replied to the initial text saying I'm running 5 minutes late, and really was only running 5 minutes late, and OP drove off anyway, I'd call that an a-hole move. But the friend ignored a text and was apparently actually 40 minutes late. So OP did nothing wrong. Even if he had given 5 minutes leeway, it wouldn't have made a difference. Not the a-hole. She knows you, but never thought you'd actually follow through. This is totally on her. Wouldn't have been a problem if she'd stuck to the time she agreed to in the first place. And wow, she didn't notice until 40 minutes later? Either she enjoys the power of holding people to her schedule, or she's really just so unorganized that she can't keep it together. Either way, not your problem. She caused herself to miss her flight and her first day of vacation. Hope she learns. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend to go and ask to be adopted by the couple she's so obsessed with? My girlfriend Katie made a new friend a few months ago, Mary. Katie talked about her a lot. Mary said this, did that, started teaching her something, etc. I thought it was a bit weird how much Katie seemed to look up to Mary, but I didn't think much of it until Mary's husband Joe entered the picture too. From then on, Katie talked about their relationship all the time. How they do things, how they divide the chores, how respectful are they to each other. Basically, how they are just the best couple ever. I've met them too, and they're honestly nothing special. Maybe a bit on the boring side even. Yesterday evening, Katie was once again going on about them, saying things like Mary and Joe are true soulmates, and theirs is the healthiest relationship she had ever seen, blah blah. I had a really long day at work, so I told her I don't want to hear about them. I don't care about her creepy crush on this random couple, but if she likes them so much, she should go and ask them to adopt her, or ask if she can be their third. Katie then gave me the cold shoulder and left to go home to her apartment instead of sleeping at my place like she was supposed to. I need to know if I'm right and her obsession is creepy, or if I'm not seeing something right and I'm the a-hole here. Now for the comments. You're the a-hole. My friend, she's trying to tell you what she wants out of your relationship without hurting you or making you feel defensive. While you're not wrong and he's the a-hole, she needs to open her mouth and actually say what she wants. All of this hinting and subliminal messaging is not the way, and all it's doing is creating discord. He isn't picking up on hints. All he sees is her constantly fawning over two people, and he doesn't get it even after meeting them. If she wants her boyfriend to change, then she needs to lay it out for him what she's looking for in a relationship. To be fair to Katie, a bunch of internet strangers read a second-hand account of what she said, and we got it. Katie then gave me the cold shoulder and left to go home to her apartment instead of sleeping at my place like she was supposed to. I cringed reading this. She has no obligation to stay with you. I'm glad I'm not crazy. I saw this too and immediately was like, yeah, he does not care. Update. She finally texted me back. She wrote a long message saying that she had tried everything with me, and she thought that if she was patient and clear about her needs, I would eventually change for her. But she realized, thanks to Mary and Joe, that it's not her job to raise a man and get her boyfriend to respect her. She wrote a lot of other things about Mary too, like that Mary's truly proud of her husband and looks up to him. Meanwhile she, Katie, can't find it in herself to look up to me in anything and so on. So yeah, I hope you all are happy. You got what you wanted. Last story. Am I the a-hole for arguing with my fiancé after she left my child at home and took only her kids on an outing? Backstory. My fiancé and I have been together for about 4 years. She has 2 kids, 12 and 15 girls, with shared custody. It's an odd arrangement. She only has them January to June. Early September, she moved into our house. My daughter Charlie's 10. For the record, up until recently, she has been an amazing mother figure to Charlie. Our first issue was back in November as we discussed bedroom arrangements. She felt her eldest should have a room of her own while living her 6 months out of the year. That would cause Charlie to bunk with her youngest. I, however, did not allow it, because that would encroach on Charlie and likely cause her to feel alienated in her own home. Last weekend, I was called in and worked a 12-hour shift. When I arrived home, Charlie was upset because they went out to eat and left her home. She said when they came back, she was handed a bag of takeout and the food was stone cold. I asked my fiancé to elaborate, to which she confirmed taking only her girls out to an early dinner then took them to play mini-golf, hence why the food was cold as it sat in the car as they played. She kept deflecting to the food, saying she didn't expect her to eat it cold. She could have warmed it up herself. I kept insisting it was extremely rude to exclude Charlie from the outing. She came back with, but I brought her food home. She then asked, why is it okay for you to go out with just Charlie? But that's different. In the last 30 days her kids have been here. Charlie and I have only gone grocery shopping, or in one occasion took her cat to the vet. That can't even be compared to what she did. We didn't come to any sort of an agreement. Friday, she was taking her girls to the dentist, and on the way out, she made a snarky comment, "I hope this doesn't offend Charlie too." It ticked me off when she said that, and I called her feral. We both later apologized, but she then started the argument back up. She said it was so rude of me to argue about her taking her kids out. She further said, "I don't see my kids for 6 months." Excused the hell out of me for wanting to spend time alone with them. I understood her point, but I felt like we could periodically plan separate outings on the same day, so no one feels excluded. She kinda threw the bedroom ordeal in my face and said, "My kids might feel alienated from their own mother if they can't enjoy time alone with me." She made a pointless remark that her kids have no problem with her doing things with Charlie while they're living with her father. She further argued that there will be many times when Charlie will be excluded because of the age gap between her and the eldest. I told her if she expects things to work out, she would need to treat Charlie as one of her daughters. She said I was entirely missing her point because I don't know what it's like having shared custody, and me scolding her for spending time with them, as she said, was a cowardly move. Not the a-hole. She left a child at home alone knowing you were working a 12-hour shift and then brought her cold takeout. That's just plain mean. Are you sure you want this woman in your daughter's life? Sounds like Opie nabbed himself an evil stepmother. Dude, she's showing you how she treats your kid when you aren't around. She won't stop either. Your kid is less than in her eyes. Yes, exactly that. She's showing him what she is, and she is a right fighter. You know, she just needs to be right. Run, buddy. Run fast and far. The red flags are everywhere in this post. Your fiancé sounds very immature, and it sounds like you both need to work on your communication. You're not the a-hole, but your fiancé is for leaving a 10-year-old home alone for that long, and specifically excluding her from the outing. Opie, your fiancé gave your daughter a bag of food that was sitting in the car as they played mini-golf for presumably several hours. During that time, food can accumulate bacteria when left out between 40 to 140 Fahrenheit degrees in as little as 2 hours. Not only did this woman neglect your daughter to show favor to her own kids, but your daughter could have become ill from eating leftovers that were sitting in your fiancé's car. The fact that your fiancé is petty and vindictive and compares going to the store or taking a cat to the vet as the same as going out to restaurants and playing mini-golf, then uses it against you. This is a manipulation tactic. Please take a long thought about whether this woman should be living with you. She may seem like she was a good motherly figure when she is around you, but now you see how she acts towards your daughter when you're not around. Not the a-hole. Honestly, I didn't even think about the food poisoning potential. I was more focused on the big picture of excluding her. My fiancé was like, well, I placed her order to go after we ate. Like that changed anything, since she knew it would be sitting in car for who knows how long. Nobody plays mini-golf for a couple minutes anyways. Am I the a-hole for giving my girlfriend's phone to my sister and scolding her? It was my girlfriend's 23rd birthday, and I, 25 male, got her an iPhone 12 Pro, as she has been wanting one for a while. So I saved up, and it was very expensive. When I surprised her with it, I was expecting her to be excited, but instead, she told me that she wanted a black one, not a white one. The thing is, she never told me she wanted a black. She just always said she wanted the phone itself. When I told her I didn't know, she told me that I ruined her birthday and just left. I was honestly in shock and disbelief that she was that upset about a phone color. I didn't know what to do with the phone and planned on taking it back, but I remember my sister, 19, just had a baby and unfortunately had to drop out of college to find a job. I decided that I was going to give the phone to her since the phone she had was not working anymore. I told her that I would give the phone to her, but I still had to check if my girlfriend changed her mind. So I texted her saying, "This is your last chance to change your mind about the phone because I plan on giving it to my sister." And she just texted me back, "I don't care." I asked her one last time, and again she said, "I told you I don't care." So that was that. A few hours later, I was in bed when my girlfriend came in and asked me where was her phone, and I told her, "I thought you didn't want it." "I'm sorry, but it's too late now. I already gave it to my sister." She got angry and started shouting at me, saying that she thought I was joking. and that it was her phone, so I had no right to give it away, and started stomping her feet saying she wanted her phone back right now. I lost my cool and told her, "You were an adult behaving like a child who didn't get their way. I asked you twice if you wanted the phone, and you said no. Now please stop behaving like a toddler." She stomped her way out of the room and texted me that I was a jerk. And now all of her friends are ganging up on me. So now I'm wondering if I'm the a-hole. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Dealing with this person will always be a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. No matter how you try to please her, she will never be happy. She will constantly move the goalpost and find ways to tell you why you were not good enough for her. This is a relationship red flag. It's good that you didn't give the phone to an ungrateful person. Yeah, Opie sounds very kind from this and definitely deserves to be treated better. Yes, I mean, I would never dream to get such an expensive gift from like anyone. Definitely not a boyfriend and not a brother either. Opie is very generous. Girlfriend's reaction is so ridiculous, it's hilarious. Opie, welcome to the preview of your future with her. Not the a-hole. Huge red flag. Dump her, unless you want to deal with this childish behavior for the rest of your life. Not the a-hole. And please consider breaking up. Your girlfriend is completely dismissive of all the effort that must have gone into buying the phone because of something she never even specified. She then proceeds as if she was the one being wronged and turns the blame onto you, but somehow still stakes claim on the phone after basically tossing it aside. I honestly think it's great karma that the phone found someone actually deserving. Opie, this is a metric load of red flags. Consider ending your relationship with her. She's toxic. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Friend, not to be mean, but I'd reconsider that relationship. You seem like a caring dude. I know the iPhone must have been super expensive. And getting upset by the color, which by the way she could change worst case scenario, is just wrong. She doesn't appreciate you. Find someone who will. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to celebrate my birthday with my dad if it's gonna exclude my brother? I'm gonna be turning 17 soon, and my dad wants us to go to Knott's, and I love going there. We used to as a family before crap hit the fan. This happened around September of 2019, that my mom was found out to be cheating, and it ruined everything. Still mad at her about it, and we don't talk a lot. My dad left for a while, and then he wanted paternity tests for me and my brother, who was 12 back then. I'm the only one who's my dad's son. My brother isn't. That caused some deeper crap. My dad cussed out my mom, told her he never wanted to see my brother again. Literally, when they were going through the divorce, the only one he tried to fight for custody over was me. This really messed up my brother, and it was hard ever since. I'm mad at my dad too, but I hoped once time passed he'd stop being like this with him. But nothing changes. Then he gets mad when I try to talk to him about it. My brother gets sad when I have to go to my dad's, and I've started not going, which just causes problems for everyone. So I told my dad I'm not going since my brother can't, because this is a place my brother loves going to. It's where we all went together. Like, I don't expect him to actually bring my brother, because that would just be not the best thing if he's gonna be a prick with him or something. But I just said I don't want to do anything with my dad since he's still being like this with my brother. Especially going to a place I know my brother loves to. My dad's been pissed off about it. He's telling me to stop punishing him for only wanting a relationship with this actual kid. It is begging me not to push him away too. He just wants us to have this one day, since I won't even come with him to his place anymore. But I told him I can't. It doesn't feel right to me spending time with a guy who also hurts my brother just like my mom did, even if she was way worse. I just can't. But my dad is seeing it now as I'm turning my back on him. And like if I'm being a turd that I'd rather not do anything with him on my birthday. This has been hard on him, but also on us. And I hate my mom for doing it. But is it making me an a-hole that I basically am choosing my brother instead of him? Oof. This is a lot, but you are not an a-hole. Your dad is going through so much. More than you or I can comprehend. What's he going through with your mom cheating? Finding out his son isn't biologically his? It's really messed up. When it comes down to it, he raised your brother as his own. There is a father-son bond there that cannot be undone. That time can't be taken back, but he's doing severe damage to your brother by abandoning him and refusing to be a part of his life because of what his mother did. I'm not saying it's easy to stay, but he is causing a ton of trauma on this child. As much as it sucks to pick sides, I think it is very important for your brother that you stick by him through thick and thin. With everything going on, he'll likely feel like you're all he has left, and he needs that. Like really freaking needs that. It is going to be hard and ugly at times. It's going to suck for everyone involved, but you have to stand by him. He needs you. He is about to build up some major abandonment and self-worth issues. And if anyone can make sure he feels loved and worthy, it's you. Absolutely not a hole. You're a fantastic brother. But people who disapprove of you supporting your brother are going to make it about your father's feelings, / how your mother wronged him, / how you owe him. But at the end of the day, adults are supposed to take care of children, and your brother got half abandoned, whether it's reasonable for your father to do so or not. So your brother's needs are far greater, especially with how young he was when this exploded, and still is now. None of the theoretical a man has a right to leave in this case actually applies to how the kids in this situation cope, which a lot of people conveniently ignore and rage against the spouse that cheated. You're doing the right thing for you and your brother, and that's what matters. Not a hole. I'm the only one who's my dad's son. That is just not true. He raised your brother for 12 years. That's his son too. I'm not saying your dad isn't hurting / grieving, but he absolutely cannot expect you to participate in the abandonment he's inflicting on your brother. It's cruel, and you don't have to pretend that it isn't. You aren't choosing. You're refusing to hurt someone who desperately needs love and support right now. That's the way it should be. Yes, thank you. The father has every reason and right to be angry with the mother, but to take it out on a 12-year-old, a child that he raised from birth, is unconscionable. I cannot imagine just abandoning a child who has been mine in its entire life because I found out that we don't share DNA. And I certainly cannot imagine being that child and trying to deal with the only father I've ever known suddenly cutting all contact with me over a situation that I'm completely innocent in. Not a hole. Not a hole. So let me get this straight. Your dad was able to raise a child as his own for 12 years, and then the instant he finds out that he's not technically the father, he has no problem just emotionally and psychologically destroying the kid, who did nothing wrong? I get that he's hurt by your mom's cheating, but turning on your brother like that is just cruel and heartless. Not a hole. You are the only one thinking clearly in this situation. The father didn't do anything wrong either. Go read one of those "Am I the a-hole for wanting to have a relationship with my biological father, even though it's crushing the heart of the guy who raised me" posts by kids in this kind of situation to show what's going to happen in 5 years. My hat's off to any parent who can get through this kind of situation without it affecting their love for their child. However, I think that's above and beyond what I expect. If someone's looking to the future and realizing that it will destroy them when their kid starts going on an emotional journey to bond with his biological father / family, or figure out what that genetic heritage means, I can't blame them for not going down that path. Contrary to general belief, men are allowed to have feelings and protect their mental and emotional health. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not getting my stepdaughter another gift for her birthday? My stepdaughter's birthday was 2 weeks ago, and I'm still getting messages about how wrong I handled this situation. My stepdaughter is pretty spoiled. This is because her mother lets her get away with everything. Her mom is a complete Karen and is trying to make her like her as well. My stepdaughter asked her a new tablet, so I have been saving up to get her one. I bought it about a month her birthday was going to take place, and my husband told her about this. I confronted him, and he said in his defense he has been bugging him about a tablet. He didn't tell her where it was. He didn't have to though, because she found it herself. Made fun of its size, and then proceeded to destroy the whole thing. I asked why she would do that, and she said her mom told her to do it, but that's so blatantly a lie. I refused to get her another birthday gift. My husband on the day of her birthday asked where my gift was, and I told him. I said I wasn't going to get another one. He said that was selfish. I said it was also selfish to destroy something that effort was put into. Now everyone in my stepdaughter's family saying I'm a major a-hole. Was I really being an a-hole in this situation? Now for the top comments. Hell no. Your stepdaughter has some major freaking problems. I don't know how you even deal with this, to be honest. If she doesn't show any improvements in her attitude and selfish ways, I would probably never get her a birthday gift. Sorry for being so harsh, but I just feel for you. When asked where her gift is, say she got a gift and destroyed it, there's where the gift is. Oh well, but do not buy this person another gift ever. Let dad do the buying. And frankly, I'd question whether you want to be with someone who lets his kid act like this, because it won't change. She will be 30 and expecting yet another car after she wrecked the last 3. Put all the tablet pieces in a box and wrap it really nicely. When she opens it, get a big grin and go, surprise! Not today, Hull. Your husband is assisting in creating a monster. And it's unfortunate that there's not at least one adult related to her teaching her gracious appropriate behavior. Yeah, this. It's not just her mom who is the issue here. This reaction is ridiculous and may have been learned from mom. But dad is completely condoning this behavior by insisting you buy her another gift and calling you selfish for not getting her something else. Wait, let me get this straight. You bought your stepdaughter a gift she had been asking for. She found it beforehand, regardless of if she was told or not, and purposefully broke it? Then demanded you get her another one since it was now broken. What? So not today, Hull. She didn't like the size, so she broke it, and make it look like an accident so I could buy her a bigger one. What the? Your husband's family can pool their money for future gifts as far as I'm concerned. She should no longer expect anything from you for this blatant act of disrespect. The fact that your husband is enabling this type of bratty behavior is equally as appalling. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to give my laptop to my uncle? So I, female 22, recently got myself one of the new Apple desktop computers, and it came in today. I paid for it on my own as a graduation gift to myself, and I was having issues with my laptop. Also Apple, about 4 years old with heavy use. It still works, it just doesn't work if it's not plugged in. And it's a lot slower than it used to be. And the cost to fix it was high enough I thought I'd be wiser to just buy a new one altogether. Here's the issue. When my new computer was dropped off, my grandmother, who I live with, saw and realized what I bought myself. I told her I was buying it, but I don't think she realized what exactly I was buying. She went on and on about how my uncle, male 28, was going to throw a fit and it's unfair I got it for myself. That he used to have one, that she bought him, and the only reason he doesn't anymore is because one day he got really angry and, intentionally, broke his to the point it was irreparable. She then insists I should give my laptop to my uncle because it's only fair if I do so. I told her no, that's ridiculous, and that I plan to keep it. Because while it has some issues, it's still portable, and that aspect is useful, but not something I want to deal with all the time. I then pointed out that she didn't buy my laptop, got it from my school, or my desktop, so she has no right to have a say what I do with either. She then went on about how entitled I am, and how I don't care for my uncle. Not today, Hull. Ironically, your grandmother is the entitled one. She has no right to make you give your possessions away to another person. What do you mean you have to give me all your rewards right now? You're such an entitled a-hole dude. Being serious. I don't know how spending your own money on something for yourself is selfish. That's how life works. Grandma's high. Not today, Hull. I think the entitled one is your uncle if he expects to smash up a perfectly good laptop and just be handed another. Exactly. Not today, Hull. It's your property, and he would probably break your laptop due to anger as well. She can buy him another one if she wants him to have a laptop. Not today, Hull at all, since you bought it. But question, is your uncle disabled in some way or something else? My uncle does have a mental disorder, not going to say what for his privacy, but is now on meds that work for him. It took a couple years to find the right ones, and he's been working on his own for a while now. For context, he did break it when he wasn't on the proper meds and wasn't doing well mentally. But regardless, it would have been 11 years old at this point and probably wouldn't be running well regardless.